What's up, everybody? Kyle Powers here, Haven Real Estate Group at Keller Williams One Legacy Partners. K-State grad turned contractor turned real estate agent and investor. First off, just want to say thank you very much for checking out our video here today. Really do appreciate it. We got a lot of great stuff to go over. If you haven't done it already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and go ahead and hit that little bell so you can get notified of any new content that we drop for you guys. Today, the video we've got here for you are the top 8 inspections that you should do or should think about doing on a home when you are purchasing. So you found the house that you want, you've done your negotiations, you figured out a price, you figured out those terms and everything there that you are looking for in that piece of it. You go into what's called an inspection period. That inspection period can be anywhere from 10 to 15 days, could be even longer, depends on what you and the seller decide and the agents decide is a good timeline for everything. So in that time, you are allowed to do any inspections that you want. Could be a sprinkler system, could be whatever it may be. What we have for you today are the top 8 inspections that we recommend in having done in a house. Now again, I want to be very clear that inspections are not required. You don't have to do them. We just highly recommend them and making sure that this stuff is getting done, okay? One big thing to remember too is that having a good inspector, having a good contractor, having a quality person doing this work for you is very, very important. Okay, you want to make sure that you can use, you can do the research on the people that you want. You're not required to use anybody that that maybe your real estate agent chooses for you or anything of that nature. You can make that decision for yourself. Okay. Myself and my team, we have recommended people that we work with, that we know, that we trust, that we want to make sure are taking care of our clients. Number one recommended inspection that we recommend, that Haven Real Estate Group recommends, is having a whole house inspection. Okay? What this inspection does, what this person does, is they go in and they look at everything as a whole. They're going to look at your roof. They're going to look at your gutters. There's a little device that they can plug into plug-ins and making sure that they're grounded, making sure that they're wired correctly. They're going to look at your appliances. They're going to look at your drainage away from the house. They're going to look at your plumbing. They're going to look at a general overview of everything going on. Okay, they're going to go through. They're going to flip on and off light switches. They're going to go through and they're going to make sure that the heater turns on. They're going to make sure the AC turns on. Again, they're going to make sure that the general rule of thumb, everything is working as it should at the time of inspection. Now, I will tell you, these people are human. They will miss some things. Unfortunately, I had it happen to me too. When I bought my house, they literally 2 weeks into living in the house, but we literally had water coming into our basement. Okay. Nothing it happens. There's stuff that's part of being a homeowner. Those are the risks that you take when you purchase a home. Wasn't the home inspector's fault, wasn't anybody's fault, and really, I don't even know that the sellers really knew of it at that point in time. But the goal is to have a whole home inspector. This really is not necessarily your be-all, end-all, okay? We've got 7 others that I'm going to go over here today that are going to give you a really good idea of what to kind of be looking for, what to be expecting, things of that nature. So, going on to a whole house inspection, they're going to give you a general overview of what to expect on a home. Number 2, we are looking at the termite inspection. Okay, very easy inspection for most people, or not most people, but very easy inspection for your most pest control companies. We have a lot in our area. We have a lot here in Manhattan that do this on a daily basis. Okay, so what you're doing is you're looking for those little bugs that are pretty much eating your house from the inside out. Okay, you've got to have. They are licensed contractors, licensed pest control contractors. They will go in and they will do a brief overview of everything in that house, and they're going to go through that. Again, big thing to remember, they are human. If that house that you're buying, that house that is your dream home, the one that you want, if that house is full of stuff, trust me, I've seen it. There is literally just stuff everywhere and you can't see anything. You can't see exterior walls. You can't see anything. And that piece of it, they're not going to be able to find that because they're not going to spend their time pulling stuff away from the walls. They're not going to spend their time doing those things and doing that. they have a limited amount of time that they're able to do those inspections as well. So the big thing that they're going to do they're going to look at the inside and interior walls and any kind of damage that may be caused. They're going to look at the outside and give you a good idea of what that may be. And then they're going to give you their reportings. Again, there's a lot of stuff that could be in the way. Hopefully the sellers are, one, being honest with you on anything that they may know, and they may not know either. But then hopefully that they don't have just a ton of stuff around that could be covering up those items. So one of the things I'll tell you, when I purchased my house, we had termites in our house, active termites. I was physically there when they did the inspection, and you could see the little antennas coming out of one of their little tunnels that they had created. So it definitely happens in our area in Manhattan, Kansas. It is not a major item unless it's some major structural damage. Again, these are things that can be treated. All things that can be treated by certain systems, there's a lot of different ways. Again, I'm not a bug expert by any means, and don't claim to be one on TV. So definitely have a termite inspection. That's a big one to have checked out, and that's something that should be an easily fixable item for you as well. Number 3, radon. Okay, we want to have a radon inspection. In our area in Manhattan, Kansas, what you are looking at is radon is a very prevalent odorless cancer-causing gas. Again, full disclosure, I'm not an expert in any of these fields. That's not what I'm hired to do. That's why we have a radon inspection done. That's why we do all of these extra inspections, because these things could be harmful to us and our families. When we purchased our house, we had radon. Again, you guys are going to probably think, by the time I'm done with this list, you're going to think, what the heck kind of house did you purchase? But what we did, guys, is we had a radon test. It came back high. Okay, the EPA recommended level for it to be high is 4 picules. Okay, again, not an expert. I just know the term. So if you want to know what a picule is, go look it up, because I don't know it. So, but our level was high. I don't remember what it was, but it was very easily mitigated. There's a lot of great contractors in our area that can mitigate for radon. It literally is a 3-inch pipe that goes down beneath the foundation and then goes up above the roof line. And it just takes that gas and pushes it out, instead of getting it trapped inside your house. So there's a lot of different ways that you can look in that piece of it. But again, radon is our number 3 inspection that we would recommend having done on any house that you purchase in this area. Number 4. Number 4 is probably one of my biggest ones that I run into quite often, and one that I highly, highly, highly recommend, especially if you are buying an older home. Okay, newer homes, you're not going to have this issue. So number 4 is sewer line. Okay, your sewer line is one of the let's call it a silent killer, if you will. But really, your sewer line is one of the biggest things that most people don't think about. Okay, my house, again, had another issue in our house. We had our house looked at. We had our house scoped. When we purchased it, before we purchased it, we had the sewer line scoped. They do have, for those of you that don't know, there are plumbers out there that have what's called a sewer camera. And in that sewer, with the sewer camera, what they do is, it's exactly what it sounds like. They pull a clean out off, or they pull the toilet off of the ground, and they go ahead and they run a camera down that sewer line. They run that sewer line and they see what anything may be. There may be root intrusions, there may be blockages, there may be anything in those natures, because really tree roots, they will find water. Okay, they will find water. And if older homes, like our house was built in 1963, older homes use this what's called clay tile, and they have these little hubs on them that they actually literally the hub would go into it, and then what's happened over time is those hubs have started leaking out water, which then the roots find it, and the roots go into that sewer line, and now you've got tree roots that are catching anything that might flush down the toilet, anything that might go out of your washer machine, anything that's going down that drainage line. And they are very prone to blockages and backing up and being ready for that piece of it. So that's not an issue that you want to run into as a buyer, as a brand new, especially as a first-time home buyer, or even a second or third-time home buyer. You don't want to move into your house. You get all your stuff. Your house is set up. It's perfect. And then boom, water backs up in the toilet and you guys have an issue. Maybe it's just a little issue. Hopefully it's a little issue. But what happens, I've seen it all the time too, where it backs up and it seeps out in the carpet because nobody thinks about it. So then you're upstairs at your house, and then you flush the toilet, and the next thing you know, you've got water standing in your basement. Big issues. So the biggest one, again, number 4, is sewer line inspection. That's a big one for us, and a very easy one to avoid or at least know about. Maybe, and I'm not going to say that we have them, that they get replaced every time, but I will tell you that if you know about it, it's a lot easier way to ask for that to be replaced if you know about it ahead of time. The other piece of it is you at least know. You're not just guessing, is there anything down there? Are there any roots in there? Is there anything, are we sitting on a ticking time bomb kind of thing? So, number 4, sewer line inspection. Number 5. I would always recommend having a fireplace inspection. Okay, number 5 is your fireplace inspection. Again, not every home is going to have these things. So obviously, if you don't have a fireplace, you're not going to have a fireplace inspection. That's okay. For me, when we purchased our house, what we loved, what we really wanted, for me anyway, I love fireplaces. Okay, so any house, our first house that we owned, it had a fireplace. Our second house, the one that we're in now, we have a fireplace, and we had it inspected. So the inspector that we used at the time, he went ahead and cleaned it, and he went ahead and inspected it. He does not replace them or fix them or do anything, so that's why I like him. But when we inspected it, he actually failed, because actually what happens with some of those older systems, those older fireplace systems, what they actually happen is they shift and move over time, which means they're usually lined with tile, with another clay tile, mind you. And what happens is they actually will crack and move and separate over time. And what that does is that pushes gases into your home, harmful gases into your home that you want to make sure that you have taken care of. So number 5, fireplace inspection. Because again, all of these things we can ask the sellers to take care of after the fact, or before the fact, sorry. Before we move into the house, we can ask them to take care of that. Number 6. Number 6 is a HVAC inspection. Okay. This one, you can sometimes get away with these, sometimes you can't. I mean, it's really kind of up to you. It's up to your discretion. So your whole house inspector, typically, like I said, they're going to turn it on, they're going to turn it off, they're going to turn on the AC, they're going to turn on the heat. They're going to make sure that it turns over, make sure that it's changing temperatures, things like that. But an actual HVAC technician, somebody to actually go in and take the thing apart, look at the coil, they're going to look at the fan motor, they're going to look at the filters, they're going to look at actually peel apart that HVAC system. They're going to look specifically at that, not everything, but they're going to look specifically at the HVAC unit. And by the way, I'm sorry, HVAC is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. That's what you're looking at. That's the main house that heats and cools, or the main piece of the house that heats and cools your house. Okay. So having an actual HVAC technician, somebody who's licensed and trained in that particular item, is going to be very important as well. Again, the whole house inspector, they're going to look at that. They're going to have like I said, they're going to tell you, hey, this is probably on its last leg. There's probably some stuff that you want to take a look at. Probably some things that you should probably be aware of or be ready to replace later on down the road. But then you're going to have an actual HVAC technician. They're going to come in and say, hey, this one's got X amount of years, or hey, yep, this needs to be replaced sooner than later. Again, knowing is better than anything at this point in time. Whether you decide to keep it or keep moving forward with the sale or the purchase of the house is up to you as the buyer. Number 7 is septic. Okay. Obviously, if you're buying a house in town, you don't necessarily have to worry about a septic inspection. Okay. You're not going to, most times, so by the way, for a septic system is when a home is not particularly connected to a sewer system, if you will. So it literally goes out and then it stops there and then it gets leached out into the leach fields and things like that. So having those septic inspections and having a good one Unfortunately, I have had clients that we've had it inspected, it was taken care of. Again, the inspector, they're human, they miss some things, but then a couple months after moving into the place, they actually had to replace their septic system. That's a costly one. Okay, so we want to make sure that we have the septic system inspected and make sure that that is taken care of. Typically, this happens on farms. Typically, it happens on rural areas, areas that you're not necessarily connected to sewer systems. Number eight. Number eight. What we're looking at. Number eight inspection that we have that we recommend is a roof inspection. Okay. Roof can be one of the major items in a home purchase. I can't tell you how many roofs that we've had actually negotiated. The reason is because they're typically on their last leg. Now, there's 100 different ways that you can negotiate that, and we can work on that. Be checking out our other videos for negotiations and things there. But you don't want to get into a new house and then have, next thing you know, you've got water dripping on your head because you didn't have a roof inspection or you didn't have a thorough roof inspection. Again, whole house inspector, they're going to get up there. They're going to look around, they're going to walk around, they're going to say, hey, it looks good, or hey, it doesn't. That's not what they're there for. They're not there for that particular reason. Whereas if you have a roofer come in, that roofer comes in and they say, hey, I'm here to check out the roof and only the roof. They're not looking at the HVAC unit. They're not looking at the sewer line. They're not looking at the fireplace. They're here to see the roof and the roof only. Okay? That is why we have them up there. Again, they're inspectors. They're human. They might potentially miss things, and that's okay. That's part of the risk of purchasing a home. That's totally fine. But what you're looking for is you want to try to mitigate any potential losses or any potential items that might come up immediately following you purchasing this home. Guys, thank you again for watching. I really do appreciate it. It means so much to me that you've made it through the video and watched everything here. I really hope that this video was helpful for you. If you do have any questions about purchasing a home, go ahead and give me a call. My number is 785-477-5485. Or you can also shoot me an email. My email is kyle@homesforsalemhk.com. Reach out to me anytime. I can definitely get you guys taken care of. Go ahead. Don't forget to subscribe on our channel. And then go ahead and hit that little bell so you can be notified because we do have a lot more content coming up. Really do appreciate it, guys. We'll talk to you soon.